Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget friendly, and delicious. So if you'd like to get some weeknight meal ideas for your family, then just keep watching. For dinner this first night, I had some tilapia that I needed to use up, so I decided to make some quick fish tacos. To get started, I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I've sprayed this cookie sheet with some cooking spray. I have these two tilapia fillets here, and I'm going to season both sides with some taco seasoning. Now, you can use whatever seasoning you'd like, Cajun, Old Bay. You could also use fajita seasoning. Again, just use whatever you like, but I'm just going to season both sides, and then I'm going to place this into the oven and cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes or until the fish starts to flake with a fork. I also had about 3/4 of a can of black beans left over in my fridge from some barbecue chicken salads I made a few days before. I wanted to use those up, so I added those black beans to this saucepan along with some chicken broth, and then I used some adobo seasoning, and I just boiled those for a few moments. Now, I forgot about these and I let them get a little overdone. They were more like refried beans, but they were still really delicious. And here are the plates. We had some watermelon that I wanted to use up, so I added that, and then we sprinkled a little tahini over that. It was so good. And then we have the black beans, and then for our fish tacos, I just used some fajita-sized tortillas, added the tilapia, some cabbage, diced tomatoes, and then the chipotle ranch from Walmart, and then a lime wedge for garnish. And this was a really easy dinner. It was super quick, like less than 15 minutes, and this was yummy. For dinner the next night, I did not feel like cooking, so I ordered Subway on my app. My husband ran and picked it up. We just ordered the sandwiches as we had plenty of chips and drinks here. I got the steak and cheese. I'm really simple. I've mentioned this before. When it comes to sandwiches and things like that, my husband and I are polar opposites. I always like things really simple, so on mine, I just get the steak and cheese and Southwest Chipotle. That's it. My husband got I think he got the cold cut combo, and he pretty much gets everything except for red onions and jalapenos. And that was our dinner this night, really quick. Tonight for dinner, I made another really quick and easy meal. This is a barbecue chicken bake. I've made this one other time before, and we really enjoyed this, and it's so easy. To get started, I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I am using some chicken cutlets tonight. Usually I use chicken breast, but either's fine. And then I'm going to season my chicken. The recipe does not call to season your chicken, which I'll link the recipe in the description box below, but chicken's really bland, so I usually always have to season my chicken, but I'm just going to season both sides of it with some barbecue seasoning. I like to make this. I'll include the recipe in the description box below. It's really good. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, but I'm just going to put that on both sides and then spray my casserole dish with some cooking spray. And then I'm going to add my chicken cutlets into the baking dish. Next, I'm going to add my barbecue sauce. You can use whatever your favorite is. I'm just going to squirt a little bit on there and then spread it out with a spoon. Next, I'm going to add some bacon. I like to add a slice and a half. I just feel like that is the perfect amount to cover the chicken. I like this Appleton Farms center cut from Aldi. And then you're going to place this into the oven and bake this for about 30 minutes or until your chicken is cooked to 165 degrees and your bacon is nice and crispy. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using chicken cutlets today, and I normally use chicken breasts. So my cutlets were done after about 15 minutes, but the bacon was not. So I removed the bacon, put it on a cookie sheet by itself, popped it into the oven for another maybe 10 minutes, and then added it back to the chicken. But if you're using just regular thick chicken breasts, you won't have to do that. For one of my sides, I'm going to make some asparagus, so I've just washed this and trimmed off the woody ends. I'm adding it to this baking dish. I've added a little bit of avocado oil. You can also use olive oil. Then I'm going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic powder, give that a toss, and then I just placed this into the oven right alongside the chicken and cooked it for about as long as I cooked the chicken. Once my chicken is done, I'm going to add my cheese. I believe the recipe calls for shredded cheese, and you can use that, and really you can use whatever kind of cheese you'd like, but I have some of this Sargento thin Colby Jack on hand, so I'm going to add a slice of cheese, and then you pop this back into the oven for just about 2 or 3 minutes or until the cheese is melted. And then here is the finished chicken. For my second side, I did some corn on the cob. This I got at Walmart. I cooked it in the air fryer tonight, and I haven't cooked corn on the cob in the air fryer before, but it actually turned out well, and it was really easy. I cooked it on, I believe it was 360 degrees, and I cooked it for about 10 to 12 minutes. You just want to make sure that it's nice and warm. And then we have the asparagus. And here are the finished plates. We have the chicken, the corn on the cob. I did add just a little bit of butter and salt and pepper to the corn, and then the asparagus. And again, this was a really quick and easy dinner, but it was really good. We really liked that chicken. I recommend you give that a try. For dinner this next night, I tried a new recipe for enchilada stuffed zucchini boats. This recipe is from Sarah's Realm, and this is part of a recipe swap collab video that went up a couple days ago. I'll include a link in the description box below in case you'd like to see how I made this. This was really, really good. I wasn't sure about it because we've never had zucchini boats before, but it was delicious. Tonight for dinner, I made Copycat Taco Bell Cheesy Gordita Crunches and Cheesy Fiesta Potatoes. This was so good. Now, I will include a link in the description box below for a recipe, but I didn't follow it exactly. I really just looked at a couple different recipes, and then I pulled up Taco Bell's menu, and honestly, I just went by the menu. I know a lot of recipes that I found said to make this like creamy jalapeno sauce for it, but Taco Bell's menu says that it has a spicy ranch, not that jalapeno sauce. So that's what I decided to do, but you use whatever you like. Again, this was really easy to do. To get started, I have some ground beef that I've browned that. I'm going to add in a little water and taco seasoning and just allow that to simmer for a few moments. And here's the finished taco meat. And if you've never had a cheesy gordita crunch before, it's a soft flour tortilla with melted cheese and then a crunchy tortilla. So you get the soft tortilla and the crunchy. It's a great combination of the two, so I really enjoy it. So what I've done is I took 2 fajita-sized tortillas, sprinkled them with a little bit of cheese, placed them into the oven along with the crunchy taco shells, and just warmed them up. And then here are the potatoes. I've shared this several times before on my channel. I will include a link in the description box below. You basically just take a russet potato, or how many ever potatoes you need. You wash them, chunk them up, and then toss them with a little bit of oil, taco seasoning, seasoned salt, and then you bake those in the oven. I've also done it in the air fryer until they're cooked all the way through and nice and crispy. To finish the potatoes, I'm going to add my cheese dip. You can use whatever your favorite is. I like this Fritos mild cheddar dip. I feel like this is really close to what Taco Bell uses, so I'm going to add that, and then a dollop of sour cream, and then I'm going to add some chopped green onions. Years and years ago, Taco Bell used to add green onions, but they stopped doing it. I don't even know how long, but it's been years ago, but I still like the freshness that it gives, so I'm going to add that. And then for the cheesy gordita crunches, once I pulled those soft tortillas out of the oven and they were nice and pliable and that cheese was melted, I just wrapped them around the crunchy shells. So I'm going to place those in these taco holders and then add my taco meat. Now, the good thing about making this at home is you can add as much taco meat as you want, because I don't know about you all, but sometimes my Taco Bell can be a little skimpy with the meat. Then I'm going to add some of the ranch dressing. This is a taco ranch. Again, like I said, the Taco Bell menu says that it's a spicy ranch. You could just use regular ranch dressing and mix in a little bit of hot sauce. That would be fine as well. Then I'm going to add some shredded lettuce. And then Taco Bell doesn't serve the tomatoes on theirs, but I always add tomatoes to my tacos there. I just like it. So I added a little diced tomato and then some shredded cheese. You could also add some of the Taco Bell taco sauce. You can get that at Walmart or your grocery store. And then here's my finished plate. This was really, really good. I can't wait to make this again. And a quick note, when I do make this again, I'm going to do the soft tortillas just a little bit differently. When I baked them in the oven, they did end up getting a little bit crispy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I wanted them still nice and soft. So next time, I'm just going to add a little shredded cheese to the soft tortillas and pop those into the microwave for a few seconds just to melt that cheese and still warm up the taco shells in the oven. For dinner this next night, I was cooking for myself again because my husband had another business dinner meeting. I wasn't super hungry and I didn't really feel like making a whole lot, so here's what I did. I just made a quick breakfast for dinner. I have some watermelon, and then I scrambled a couple of eggs, and whenever I have scrambled eggs, I have to have ketchup with it. I don't know about you. What do you like with your scrambled eggs? Comment down below. Do you like ketchup, hot sauce, just plain? How do you like them? And then to go along with that, I just have 2 slices of bread that I toasted in the toaster, and then maybe I'm weird, but I love to do this. This is one of my favorite like snacks to have or breakfasts to have, and I've done this since I was a kid. But I'll toast my bread and then I put peanut butter on one side, and I like crunchy peanut butter, but I also like regular peanut butter, so I always do just a little bit of both. And then I put jelly on the other side, and then right before I eat it, I put it together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it's toasted. It's so good. But that was my dinner this night. For the last dinner in this week's video, I made another new recipe for a turkey sweet potato skillet. This is another recipe of Sarah's, and again, it's part of that recipe swap collab, which I'll have linked in the description box below. This was another really easy dinner, and to go along with the turkey sweet potato skillet, I made Mandy in the Makings green beans. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.